Class 8. Subject Social Studies, History. Lesson 2 From Trade to Territory. Extra Question Answers, Part 2. Q1. Why did the Battle of Plassey become famous? Ans. The Battle of Plassey became famous because it was the first major victory the company won in India. Q2. Name Sijuddaullah's commander who never fought the Battle of Plassey. Ans. Mir Jafar, one of Sijuddaullah's commanders, never fought the Battle of Plassey. Q3. Whom did the company install in place of Mir Jafar and why? Ans. When Mir Jafar protested, the company deposed him and installed Mir Qasim in his place. Q4. Who initiated the policy of paramountcy? Ans. Lord Hastings, Governor-General from 1813 to 1823, initiated a new policy of paramountcy. Q5. Why could Delhi no longer function as an effective center? Ans. As powerful regional kingdoms emerged in various parts of India, Delhi could no longer function as an effective center. Q6. What led to intense conflict between British and local rulers? Ans. Fortification of settlements and effort to carry on profitable trade led to intense conflict between British and local rulers. Q7. What constituted the Mughal army? Ans. The Mughal army was mainly composed of cavalry, savars, trained soldiers on horseback, and infantry, that is, paidal, foot, soldiers. Q8. Who were two famous Maratha soldiers and statesmen of the late 18th century? Ans. Mahatma Sindhya and Nana Fadnis were two famous Maratha soldiers and statesmen of the late 18th century. Q9. After the Battle of Buxar, 1764, the company appointed residents in Indian states. Who were the residents? Ans. They were political or commercial agents, and their job was to serve and further the interests of the company. Q10. When did the Mughal emperor appoint the company as the Diwan of the provinces of Bengal? Ans. In 1765 the Mughal emperor appointed the company as the Diwan of the provinces of Bengal. Q11. Why did the company want a puppet ruler? Or, why was the company keen on puppet ruler? Or, why did British want to establish puppet ruler in Bengal? Ans. The company was keen on a puppet ruler because he would willingly give trade concessions and other privileges. Q12. Explain the term mercantile. Ans. Mercantile means a business enterprise that makes profit primarily through trade, buying goods cheap and selling them at higher prices. Q13. What do you mean by puppet? Ans. Puppet literally means a toy that you can move with strings. The term is used disapprovingly to refer to a person who is controlled by someone else. Q14. Name the Mughal emperor seen as the natural leader during the revolt of 1857. Ans. When a massive rebellion against British rule broke out in 1857, Bahadur Shah Zafar, the Mughal emperor at the time, was seen as the natural leader. Q15. List the kingdoms which were annexed on the basis of doctrine of lapse. Ans. Kingdoms annexed on the basis of doctrine of lapse were Satara, 1848, Sambalpur, 1850, Udaipur, 1852, Nagpur, 1853, and Jhansi, 1854. Q16. Who were called nabobs? Ans. Company officials who managed to return Britain with wealth led flashy lives and flaunted their riches. They were called nabobs, an anglicized version of the Indian word Nawab. Q17. How Plassey got its name? Ans. Plassey is an anglicized pronunciation of Palashi, and the place derived its name from the Palash tree known for its beautiful red flowers that yield gulal, the powder used in the festival of Holi. Q18. What did it mean to be Nawabs? Ans. It meant, of course, that the company acquired more power and authority. But it also meant something else. Each company servant began to have visions of living like Nawabs. Q19. What was the result of the Second Anglo-Maratha War? Or, what has happened in Second Anglo-Maratha War? Ans. The Second Anglo-Maratha War, 1803 to 2005, was fought on different fronts, resulting in the British gaining Orissa and the territories of the Vivlokav Yamuna River including Agra and Delhi. Q20. Why the company had to buy most of the goods in India with gold and silver imported from Britain? Ans. The company had to buy most of the goods in India with gold and silver imported from Britain because at that time Britain had no goods to sell in India. Q21. Who was Raina and what was his role in anti-British resistance movement? Or, who was Raina? How did meet his end? Ans. Raina, a poor chowkidar of Sangoli in Kittur, carried on the resistance. With popular support he destroyed many British camps and records. He was caught and hanged by the British in 1830. Q22. How did the appointment of residents in Indian states help the company? Ans. Through the residents, the company officials began interfering in the internal affairs of Indian states. They tried to decide who was to be the successor to the throne and who was to be appointed in administrative posts.